It's 9:04. I am recording.
I don't know how much time. So I did want to say,
Commission.
No,
Things are missing there.
I know. I saw that, that's right down there.
thank you. You're very gracious.
But I only have one page.
So, yeah, the
I
heater.
have two sides. You have 2 pages. So you're not getting the same copies I'm getting either. What's that changes? What changes? What's that changes?
I don't know.
Because I asked for everyone that was a closed part of the meeting, there was no more official capacity meetings, so was that changed? I guess I have to pay for those. Why would that be?
Hey, Dwayne, I'm sorry. All those snafus bring me late to the table.
Uh-oh. I'll make a note. Whatever we want to do is.
Just put it in this folder. Oh, is that his though?
That makes her joke.
Did you read Mary English thing? I told her she was gonna send us a break request. It's in our folder there.
Oh, it's in our folder? No, I haven't got it yet.
Just take note of it.
Oh, okay, and I asked, yep, that this be printed for us. I don't know if we that was, that, I think I'll just make a general statement on somehow mistake on that resolution.
Oh, that's.
Yep. If so, I think. Oh, here it is. So, tell me why she would get permission from us to take the fire budget.
She was just.
Oh, just, it's just an,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so it's just,
Request.
yeah, and that's why, oh, okay,
She was more interested about the end than we understood.
sure. That's the,
And I don't think they want to make this question.
yeah, I just wondered, you know, why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't look at her budget. She said it's in there.
Okay. So did you respond?
Well, I talked with her on the phone for
Yeah.
about an hour.
I mean,
I told
so-
her I said we would look at it. If
Yeah.
I thought everything was fine, we would look at it.
Okay.
We'd get back to you.
Yeah, and they did talk about this at
And
the
the thing is,
LRPC.
she's gonna be gone for, I don't remember if it's next week, they're leaving for 2 weeks. She said she would like a decision today.
Did the ball team win last night or not?
Yes. Yeah,
Central won.
Yeah, 25 points or something.
No kidding, man. Do they have tonight and tomorrow both to play it Monday night?
think that, I only looked at it for a second.
No, I think they play tonight, and then the semi, and tomorrow's the final.
Yeah, probably.
Cool, but
I
they
think
did do
I
it.
think they played Twin Bridges maybe tonight.
Oh, really?
I think so. I only looked at it at like 2:30 in the morning when I took my dog outside.
Yeah.
Then my wife said, get back to the house.
That's sort of not a fair deal, because Twin Bridges co-ops with Sheridan, et cetera, over there.
Yes.
And so they kind of recruit the 4 schools to do that. Which is really not exactly fair to the other schools, but it's how they get.
I don't know. I look for them to win it all because the other team they played the night before, 40 points, and then they were 40 points ahead, and they initiated a mercy rule and let the clock run
Yeah,
because she had the second string in.
right.
So, I've never heard of that at a state tournament, but I guess.
What team is that playing?
Rome's daughter Amber, do you remember her?
Oh, yeah.
She's coached at Seiko Whitewater.
Seiko Whitewater, yeah. The mercy rule came from the Arlie Charlotte game, 1972.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the half, the score was 71-0. Charlotte was ahead.
Ouch.
Arlie went into the locker room in the gym, and they went out the back door of the locker room, out the back of the school, got on the bus and went home at the half. And everybody showed up for the second half to play, and Arlie wasn't there, and then they went in and checked, and the referee didn't know what the hell to do. How do we do this? The other team in the bus is home.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it was quite a game. It was quite a deal.
See,
Yeah.
set up.
Yep, I just haven't, oh yeah, I didn't finish that.
Get that ready.
That's what it did.
Yep, thank you.
So,
Thank you very much.
so,
Oh, thank you.
You know, I had not noticed. Oh. I didn't see these. So we need to, yeah, but should we just go, nope, because we, already did that? I think we just signed them now.
Oh,
Do we want to get them turned in without his signature?
To that person, official capacity. That was it.
huh?
I'm just thinking of,
Put his stamp, on, and put his stamp on
yeah,
it. That way it'll be done.
because I would like it to, yeah,
Yeah.
we should get it done.
Okay.
Do you want to
Access pool.
text and
Okay.
ask him? Okay, so it would be January and February, and all of these were all. Oh. Yes. Can. Wait. Stan?
You say January and February?
Yes.
Is Jen. Jen. And
Why is she talking to you?
go.
Well, she likes to talk to me. It's all right.
February. Mom. Minnie. Minute. Minutes.
to figure out. So, I wonder if she made a mistake. I can't tell. Changed hours per phone call. Okay, so she must have made a mistake in adding, and Kellyanne penciled it in.
We could,
And then this is.
put that in.
Yeah.
Okay, so, there's those. Megan,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking.
quit thinking,
I know.
quit thinking, chill out. Keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, you're back. Well, if he doesn't have to move, we'll do it all. We won't do it all.
Okay.
I'm sure thousands of them have been submitted without my signature. Oh.
Do you want half of these? I have another. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you.
That's how I always am. It's not just me. Somebody turn my PC. More
Emily.
How'd that go?
I'm trying to remember.
The LAPC meeting, how did that go?
Yeah, so a couple of people were on Zoom, and I think they left a little bit early, so I didn't get, I have to kind of refresh my memory anyway, what took place there. Oh, I know, fire warden, they talked about making burn permits,
Yeah, I think we have an email in our file
oh, okay.
to confirm that,
But, no,
that she wanted to put the Gildersleeve out on
Yeah.
the flyers.
okay, but as far as making a burn permit, I can't think of the word that I want, a requirement?
It's a requirement,
No,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna challenge you on that. It's not a requirement.
But see, when it comes out in the paper, it is,
Since when?
it's always been a requirement,
No,
after
no.
a certain date.
To call and get a permit?
And I don't, the way, I called down here I only called, get one time, I wasn't out and let it, but I called down here one time to the Forest and said, now I can keep all over here. And I said, I want to get a permit. And Ron said, where do you?
There might be some.
And I said, we just got a bunch of stuff out in my yard. Nobody ever does.
Right, right.
And most people don't. But that's what,
I know.
that's what they're trying to avoid, so that if somebody does see a newbie moved here,
Yeah.
somebody sees, well, like the stuff they had up in your backyard.
Yeah, right, that they forgot to tell us,
Yeah,
yeah.
it went down with that. If somebody from California or Washington or wherever was moved here and seen a fire up in there, they're gonna call 911 and say there's a fire. And it isn't a fire, and everybody's gonna be fired up and go up there and it's a
Yes.
brush fire.
But what I recall from last year was, what they wanted was everyone, if you're gonna burn, call in and let 911 know.
Call it, there's
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a deal you do online.
So are you saying that they wanted that in addition to
They
the
want to change,
permit?
I believe they want to change I think that permit said May 1st, and it's actually, she says in that,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did read those things.
Yeah.
But so you're saying they're just gonna change the dates on the permit?
yeah.
See, maybe you need to go to LAPC, because I missed that. She said because they needed to, what I understood was, they were going to come before the commissioners and ask for making those permit requirements. But I would have missed the part then about, it's just the dates that they're changing.
Where'd it go?
Oh, I have it. Is this what you're looking for? This email?
Yeah. As a county forward, with the state version of civil fire, finalizing fire that arrests Americans and homeowner fire litigation. It covers information and form. The state and forest service are doing the first training and last training and covering the expenses of it up to request approximately 500 from the fire warden budget to cover printing for a second round of flyers to be handed out at local functions at fair until the printing is complete. I will not have an exact dollar. Next item, we're going to change the date. The public is required to obtain burn permit from May 1st, which is what it is now, to March. March 1st, open burning begins March 1st, and this may be more consistent with the public and
How's it coming?
I will have it in the middle of the cooperative.
Welcome to the world of alcohol, right?
Well, if it would either.
So, okay, so it was, I didn't hear Lori Cotter say that, so I must not have been listening.
This winter has gone.
Yeah.
Was she there?
She was on Zoom.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then when I had a
It is.
question, she had left the meeting,
Wait,
so.
wait, that will-
she said no, they heard it. She's
Never. Well, I tell you.
Oh, I filled that thing out first, I didn't fill it out, I don't remember, something came up and I couldn't fill it out, or I couldn't figure it out. And then I called somebody and finally I filled it out, because she still had me there, so I can fill one of these out. And I said, yeah, I have 3 files in my backyard, just like everybody does, you know, spring.
Here.
And she said, yeah.
So,
Okay.
every time we
No, I think,
Tell me what to do.
well, I didn't have to read the deal, whatever. it said.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
see, I-
Yeah, I did, you'd have to read that.
Okay.
It's, so I think you can fill it out every year, though.
yeah, just one permit though.
Yep, yep.
So
And
at
it's
that,
good.
well,
And
at
then I
that,
think you call in to notify
Each time.
them, yeah.
okay, so at that meeting, nobody could hear.
Anyway.
So lucky, we have that owl that Emily purchased through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was able to get the owl and set it up so that they could all hear, and the people on camera said, wow, they couldn't believe the difference in hearing. Yeah, so I missed a bit of it then.
I don't know what Missoula uses or like HRC uses, because they got a big tall speaker, and then they have an array of something that looks like,
Oh.
maybe it's just recorders, I don't know.
At least that's what
On the
the
table.
table this morning.
But they still have problems even in there, you know, and that's probably
Yeah.
way better internet
Yeah.
than we'll ever know. Yeah, it's always gonna be a problem.
Yes. Okay.
And what else?
Yeah. This is updated, this stuff, it's pretty easy to just.
I tried to make a comment of your own a little bit. I have to have an education.
Well, and you know, like, what I can do too, there's, with Google Docs. Yeah, so with Google Docs, you can have.
Let's see.
Place where people can
Oh,
make
I think he's saying it differently.
And then they don't necessarily
Cannot
get,
speak is what I think.
they put it in the document unless the author decides that they're gonna do that, but, yeah, I'd be happy to. We use that stuff all the time.
I think he meant, I wonder if he meant, well, I didn't read it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, it's, it's one of those things that, I mean, we did
these
that,
come
that was kind of our base deal.
What are
Put
these?
together our ideas and stuff, we did, because,
I don't know.
you know, it was in,
Because I didn't read that, so I don't know.
And in Mountain View School District, so they're kind of spread out. So you use Google Docs and people could comment and stuff like that.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I think he's just.
well, and then up in Fort Yukon, you know, I didn't use Google Docs, but there's Fort Flood.
That's good.
8 sites.
That's
We
good.
had 8 sites.
Yeah.
For our students in the entire district. And the library was
Mhm.
so that was a big challenge. I had this little monitor in my office, and I had 3 digit code. So I could just look at that for a few days. Charlene Hawkins,
I never see that one.
That's kind of cool.
Little celebrity thing, I've heard that
Oh,
thing on Fishkill. Why was it so?
You can't do it. And here's part of
we, remember we left it here for a couple.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so he must have weighed in.
Oh.
And so what does he say?
our children.
About Victorian Senator.
It's second nature. It's beautiful.
So, how do we, how would you add that?
It's just second nature.
How would you add that? Into we?
I know, or a rotary phone. We stay in this.
It's not our deal, it's for,
Yeah, but we asked for comments.
Yeah. so he's coming.
Oh, do you? Is that what you do? Okay.
Dress like that, and they have rotary phones in there, and cues,
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I was wondering, yeah.
and it's so cool.
We need to make sure that that letter gets sent today.
Where's it at?
Well, I think that's when I had to get back to Darren and tell him to put it for, he needed to rearrange it because he didn't have our signature lines on it.
Oh,
So let's see, it could be in my folder, it might be in your folder.
I didn't see it in my folder.
Could be in mine. There's Mary Jo's letter, I can take that out. I know.
So you're obviously.
He's the state.
I was gonna say, because I thought maybe you'd taken up extra regulars down to the race. Well, but the neat thing about that is, because I used to I never got $5, by the way, but, yeah, I'm still glad for my retirement. But anyway, so like you get those kids and you start out these stories and you can build on them every day, you know. So it's hilarious, you know, yeah.
So you just retired?
Yeah, I did, my tour duty through Superior was kind of a mixed or split shift, I guess. I came in 90 and and so my tour was at the old elementary and I did that for 6 years. And then when we moved, and I went up there to move at the same time, the only saving grace was that the union had good negotiated some retirement dollars. So it was kind of a gradual decline for about 3 years. Because everybody went back to school for you, went to trade school, whatever, and then in 2008, they said, okay, let's these people, you guys can do something. Everybody said, not today, can't do it. So I went over to Keswick School for a year. And then my wife did a grant for Superior and St. Regis after school programs, so she would stay in here and do that. So I was able to get back closer. I went to Clinton School, and I was the student out there for 3 years, so I was picking up my superintendent experience, finishing up my master's. And Christine retired, and she retired. I lost my hands back in the day. In 2002, and was here for 8 years. And then, so I was here 8 years, and then 6 years. And then I retired with the late in 53 and went to Alaska. And then to Kellogg, I was a superintendent.
He did hear this, but I can't forget to ask if it's any comment since we.
What, how did we say, 2 6 then, 2?
This one.
I don't know.
I just need to remember, I don't know, I think I need to say something, like, we received a
Just
in fact, that's probably just administrative business. Yeah, okay, so,
So did the,
yes, yes.
It's just, you have to wear a mask.
The what? I don't know. No, I don't think so, because we just got that and this was already written, so I like the idea of attaching that comment rather than inserting it. Do you?
yeah, yeah.
Try to get them here, because it feels on.
We did remote prayers, and that was just,
Well, if we use the micro.
kids.
Some kids come
Yeah, let's just do that. You got it, or do you want this one of mine?
I just signed that one, and then thought we could have.
No, I mean. the-
Oh, no, I don't have, oh, I probably do have that somewhere. Oh, here it is. I wrote on it to acknowledge that we saw it. So probably your clean copy.
Okay.
So just administratively? We received one comment one written comment regarding the draft summary report of stakeholder perspectives to the Center for Natural Resources and Environmental Policy, and we put that out last week for signature for comment. And we did get one, and we'll attach that comment to the letter. Okay? And there's that, do we wanna staple those together, or? I don't think I did have, where did we put it?
Oh,
Oh, right there. Oh, you wanna write that down? I don't need these in my folder anymore, that's just access. Okay, I wanna have Karen stamp this.
So I can get Pete's really like your budget.
Good.
And the rest of them, I use for actors.
Which is all the so it's just.
Did you see that I responded to this email?
Just start milk in the spring, and then starting in
So.
March, and certainly, I think in June, July, August.
Can. Your.
The numbers indicate that
So.
the
Dog.
system that we have, we're getting some back from the operators. So that's.
Signs. Signature.
Do you find you have a separate
Of. Off.
What we chose to do, putting in batteries, doubles the cost of the
If.
system. And it really
You.
isn't necessary to do
Want.
because we're back.
He says, I think so.
I know I get off the grid, it's from the north, and raised, they fired.
He did, but the problem was the corrections had already been made, and then he had old ones. So he should be good, everything. Well, there's a couple in there. Yeah. Because that was a problem, that they had already made changes and then, so we have to, maybe,
That's fine, he said.
which one?
Which? What?
There's an anniversary. And if you used
Oh, we can fill this out for payroll. Do you have the minutes so that you can have those over?
Wait,
February, no, March 3rd? Yes, you should have.
so they get you.
I don't know, maybe they're only on the table when you get them in.
Last one should be.
Because
Could that No, he didn't.
That's mine.
He
Well,
didn't.
I did have them printed, but you have them up there.
so, so it's not, it's not, it's really not. Anyway, and then we just put them in the numbers, and we take them apart. And what our idea is not necessarily to set up and here, but rather than what we do. Mr. McBride
I'll have Darren stamp this right now so we can get this all done.
So in the sale price,
So then you must have one signature.
6 days.
Well, we can have Darren take red notes too.
Yeah.
So I'll stamp this one and leave February go because you and I will sign.
6 days, yeah. But
In January, I'll have one stamped signature, but not February, right? And we get these in the home. We have so many papers.
Their last official for the day.
I need that, thank you. Laughter. Laughter. Okay, this,
So, remember I was trying to be proactive, do something with park employees.
yes, you were on that.
Okay, so Judy texted me yesterday morning, and says, well, Darren texted me and says that Callahan couldn't go any further as far as hiring, she had a letter of resignation from the agency. And I said, well, maybe we got one, I don't okay, it's a regular. And so, I got Darren to Lance Gordon, so I called him, and he goes, no, I didn't say it's official, give me a written one, because do you want me to? I thought maybe you might want me to train the guy, just a little time in the thing. And I said, well, Dan, that's up to you, and the park committee, that isn't too emergency. You guys decide if they want to look to do, you know, a month of training, or a week of training, or 2 weeks of training, or whatever. But then apparently he told Judy, because Judy called him, right? He told Judy that maybe he would just do it again. Then I said, well, that'd be great too. But he was 6 months. Let us know.
Yeah.
So they're having a meeting.
Yeah.
And of course, Judy's not there, George's not there, but they're gonna do it on phone and Zoom or something.
Yeah, you really took that one and you tried.
I tried. And you know, the next thing would be, the next thing would be,
Well, you don't
that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so I'm going to, we don't have payroll recorded yet. I can record it from there. I'm gonna return, I'm gonna have Darren take checks up to Callahan. I have stuff for him to do here. I will be right back.
All right.
Sorry.
It's almost like we have trim, closet doors, all those things. Kim was in the pictures and these, you know. Tim can't go to the kitchen.
How are you? I usually work.
It's been working. And our road is. Except for the days that smacked my head.
I wasn't even talking.
Everyone says they should get the story. I'm not good enough.
Yeah. I'll get you.
That's what he told me, he says, just take the bloody snatch. He said, they can bring a phone call, just take the snatch.
Yeah, right. They wish a little bit, sorry.
Probably for nothing, but I'm good at it.
He said, you're not smiling when you look out the window, are you? She says, well, actually, she says, I am. She said, I'm in heaven. I said, I am not talking to you.
Walk like me.
I don't think it was supposed to be like that. It don't matter. Just gotta grab it right now. Didn't do any digging. Oh, yeah. Something like this. Good luck. I told you it'd be a 4 months ago.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, they got one last
To
night.
approve the minutes for March 3rd. I'll second that.
That's the reason. Yeah, I know. And then it's still snowing, it's supposed to snow. Mid-afternoon. According to my, it was supposed to snow till Tuesday.
What's that?
Only Wednesday.
What is it? Oh, yeah. Because maybe he would catch.
X-rated map there. Oh, it's just.
Oh, I
Yeah.
Oops. Oh my goodness. No, I can't.
No, because he hasn't. He didn't.
But he did read the last one.
Yeah, yeah, that's how we did it. Yeah. So you can talk about it. Okay. Dwayne, you're asking
Today is their
I didn't take it. I didn't. Now, where'd that other sheet go with payroll on it, where I could? Yeah, okay, got it. Oh, whoa, whoa. That's right.
Corey Johnston is on.
Do you want to make a motion to approve?
If he can do it, it's better than saying shut down for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Check numbers 18,
Yeah, but it's
19,
just, it's tough
18,
that they,
96, 3. Second
they're
that.
very well, is it, what you got?
I seconded it. No, I was just reading back what you said for the motion. Carrie?
And walked up there today, there's no sign that, you know, sprinkler system.
When's the store gonna open up, Kathy? When's the store gonna open up?
There's we've been up there working. We got rid of junk in the salads, a whole bunch of new shelves. No, we, it's a she has cost charge. And then they go on getting stuff from people. Oh, wait,
Take this back.
Oops, I had some of
I was
these.
trying to look
Well, they're clipped. Some of them are clipped.
Yeah, so 83% is still.
I'm not sure what this is that we have. Do you know what that is?
Well, the biggest thing is to see what the police
I wonder if it was mistaken. It was sent to them.
But I hope this one is
What that means is he is scheduled at
It's good for them to see that.
These didn't get stapled.
Yes.
So they just put new cups in.
So I guess that's what we want to do about. Two.
First time,
No, three people. Who's the agenda today? Oh, this is just a list of office hours. That's not the agenda. No, but I got a copy of the policy. That's where I said no. No, I don't. You didn't have one here?
No, there wasn't one in there.
Is there one up there now?
Yes, no, I got, so I took a picture.
A copy.
so that can turn this.
Good morning. According to Verizon, it's 10:05. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As we begin public comment, I want to take just a second to let you know that a couple of changes, and we're working on this one. It is a draft addressing the board. We'll take comments on all of our drafts through this Wednesday. But for today, we're going to practice. The public is invited to speak on any non-ministerial motion, in other words, a non-administrative motion, under discussion by the board after recognition by the presiding chair. The public may comment during public comment on items not noticed on the agenda. So when we have an action item that affects the county in any way or the taxpayers, you will be given time to speak. We did a lot of research on this, and that's where we're headed with it. So we'll practice that today also. And when you come up to speak for public comment, everyone agrees not to interrupt the speaking opportunities of others. Shouting and personal attacks will not be allowed. Everyone will listen actively and sincerely. Listening does not imply agreement. Cell phones should be turned off or silenced. No single party will be allowed to dominate the meeting. The chair reserves the right to keep the meeting on schedule. Discussion should not deviate from the established agenda. I better take a look at that one. I didn't get any feedback on that one, but I'll look at that. The chair may limit discussion if time dictates the need. Each participant is allowed one time at the podium and should not repeat a comment already given, but may state agreement with a previous comment. So I know that we will all respect each other today, and if the first person would like to step up and identify yourself, we're ready.
Hello, my name is Jamie Talbot. I'm the clerk of court in Monroe County. Just getting over a cold, and I am not a public speaker, so I just wrote down, sorry. I just wrote a little something that I would like to read today. I would have liked to have had this discussion in private, or frankly not at all, but after being publicly humiliated in the department head work session last week, I felt that this was necessary for me to say here today. I first want to thank all the department heads and members of the community who reached out to me after last week's meeting It really meant a lot to me. Since taking office, I have tried to do the best I can to make sure that my office is run smoothly, that we work well with other departments, that my staff is happy and comfortable, and that every individual who enters my office is treated with respect, regardless of their situation or the circumstance which led them to my door. Every time I have come before this commission, for whatever reason, I have never felt respected or even heard. I don't know that you heard my office update last week, as you were quick to point out my flaws instead and had obviously planned to make me feel small and unappreciated. I was elected by the people of Mineral County, and that means something to me. I will continue to run my office and do the best job I can for those people while continuing to be kind and professional. I would just also like to make my personal cell phone number available to the public and encourage people to reach out directly to me if they have questions or concerns regarding my office. My phone number is 406-382-0185. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you for your service.
You know, one thing I did forget to say, that I will time everyone for 3 minutes. I forgot to announce that.
I'm also not a public speaker, so bear with me. I'm Alicia Boyce, and I'm here to publicly comment on what took place during last week's work session with the department heads. After watching the video, I was disgusted with the lack of respect for the clerk of district court. Since coming into office, she's run her office with integrity, honesty, an open mind, and the utmost professionalism. Mako clearly outlines that the commissioners have little to zero say in what happens in the elected officials' offices. There's a time and place for discussions like these. The berating, belittling, and honestly, downright bullying in front of her colleagues and the public was highly inappropriate and clearly calculated. You've made it clear that policy is a high priority for you, yet you change the policies at will without the consideration of public input and pick and choose which personnel issues you address in private. The disrespect to the department heads by this commission has been apparent, especially as of late. The officials that run these offices are the glue that holds our county together and makes sure that it runs smoothly. By overreaching and micromanaging, you're disrupting that process and creating a toxic working environment for them. The majority of the public voted these officials in, and we expect you to stop with the roadblocking, micromanaging, and blatant disrespect that has frankly been a slap in the face to those who voted these people into these offices. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Okay, my name's Mike Curtin, and I'm here today for public comment and to ask, well, Roman's not here, so it's kind of moot, but also Dwayne, that the comments in the news, the Missoulian, the last couple of weeks, plus the video that they were videotaped in, I feel they should both resign. It was uncalled for, their statements, it was unnecessary, it was rude and crass, and I don't think you are representing the county very well. Making a laughing stock out of Western Montana, making us a laughing stock in Western Montana. With all these articles in the newspaper, I think it's time for both of you to step down. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Commissioner, late in 2022, my name's Ken Burley, by the way. Late in 2022, you advertised for a position to be open for a resource manager. You interviewed, selected, and awarded the job. Yet to date, that person has been working for the betterment of Mineral County on his own time and travel expenses. For many weeks, we've heard the Deputy County Attorney tell us that the contract will be here on Monday. Last Friday, I was told that the commissioners have that and was waiting for their signature. Only to find out later that there actually is no contract. That's very disappointing. The forest plan that's being worked on is currently in Mineral County is very important to the future of Mineral County. We all know that. I mean, it determines what happens to us for the next 10 or 15 years. And that resource manager job is important. We've already lost 1/3 of the year through lateness. This is just another example of complacency, apathy, and neglect by our county officials. Ravalli County, Lincoln counties have the same program. Lincoln County brought in $19 million with that very same program by having that person in place. It seems to me that our Mako president could reach out to these counties and find out how they're doing it and model a program after what they're doing to get this person in place. I'd like to ask to have that put on the agenda for next week, and hopefully we'll have a resolution of this problem and move forward with things that benefit Mineral County. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's two different items on the agenda. Are we talking about the thing that you just read off, Don, or are we talking about the Lewis and Clark issue on the agenda item?
Yep, it's both. The one that I just read off is at 11:30 to 12. Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, we are sticking to, is it a question about the agenda so we can practice one time
What's a question?
at the podium?
Yes, it's a question about the agenda. Has this been approved by the state, your draft?
We're gonna discuss those drafts, and that would be a perfect time to have your question,
Okay,
so we can address that specifically.
okay.
Good morning. William Woody Woodford for the record. I have a comment about the article that appeared in the paper. I thought long and hard about this, and I'm still really not sure just exactly how to proceed, but from the paper, it said, Mineral County's third commissioner, Don Terrell, who was absent during the January 20th meeting, said she was satisfied with the outcome. She told the Missoulians she felt attacked by members of the public like Woodford, who addressed the issue on February 24th. If my name is mentioned, I'm not going to be able just to sit back and say, oh gee, I'm going to not address this. If you felt attacked, or if the commissioners felt attacked, my concern would be, if I were a commissioner, I would be looking at the wide-ranging individuals
that came to the podium and expressed their displeasure. None of them were coached. They all had their individual comments, as I had my individual comment. And what I found objectionable to the way that my agenda item was addressed was, it was for two purposes in a conversation that I had with Mineral County Assistant District Attorney Wally Condon. The one was for the reason it was being dismissed was one of the solutions that I listed on the form to be placed on the agenda was disciplining of the employee that apparently tried to erase the tape, or it looked like he manipulated the tape. I was told that I could not do that because of the individual's right to privacy, and yet at last month's or last week's meeting, I sat and watched, and my stomach, it didn't sit with me well that you, Commissioner Terrell, did exactly the same thing in violating an individual's right to privacy and taking them to task about their breaks and all those kind of things and humiliated them. So I wonder, and I can't help but wonder, about the double standard that's in place for when commissioners feel like they have the ability to address or violate an individual's right to privacy. Further, the way I look at that, she's an elected official, and she has the same number of stripes on her shirt as you do. And I don't believe that you have the ability to judge her job performance, and certainly not in public. The other thing I would like to speak to is your comments then as a quote, as a Mineral County citizen. And you went on to say that you felt that you were being bullied and you were being, that somehow the behavior toward you was somehow damaging a victim or an alleged victim. The damage was done by two county commissioners who made those comments, and it was videotaped and then shared with the entire community, and for that matter, anybody that has the World Wide Web. So your individual's right to privacy issue and the bullying is a convenient way, I think, of saying, oh gee, if somebody has a concern, then we'll address it in that way. I would just like to conclude by saying, if you are going to play by the same rules, or you're going to require the community to play by the same rules, the commissioners must also play by the same rules. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comment.
Juliet Miller. I was not going to comment, but I won't repeat Bill. I will say my own statement. Based on what you've written in public, in your minutes, and in your agendas, it stated victims, plural. From day one, this has not been one victim. The comments that were said to all. I came to you personally, Dawn, and made you aware of this in case others made an issue of it. I did not take it to the public. The public brought it to you. I'm sorry you don't feel you can look at me.
Well, it's an issue that I really think
please
has
don't
gone on
interrupt
enough.
me. That's one of your own rules. I'm going to say that I attempted to deal with this with you personally to mitigate damages, and you said it wasn't a problem. I'm telling you, you said there are victims, plural, and there is. So you did not interview nor speak to any other victim in this. And by ignoring the public, you have not investigated a thing. I find it horrific that you can say I'm an advocate and not advocate for anyone else but your desire in the outcome. That's the last thing this community needs right now. We don't need two misogynists by someone who supports it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Hello, my name is Clayton Ward, and there's something that kind of bothers me. First off, I want to say thank you to the commissioners for trying to take advice, put minutes out there and everything else. The only thing I'd like to say on that, it'd be nice if it's accurate. There were things happened last week that are not in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Kathy Burley, and I understood from several people in the courthouse here that they wanted to come and support Jamie at a time she was feeling belittled and she was hurt, but they were afraid of retaliation by the commissioners. Nobody's going to tell you that because they're afraid, and I don't think that's a good environment for our courthouse.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Anna Marie White, and I have just a couple of things. They're all comments, not really questions. Some of them are my own. Some of them I am bringing forward for neighbors and other community members that cannot or will not attend. The first one is my own, and that is I sent an email requesting the hiring policies and practices manual 9-10 days ago. I've not gotten a response, so if somebody could just take a look at that and let me know if I can expect that, or if I can have access to that, or but I did send it to all of you guys, so if you can just take a look at that. This is a question from a neighbor. Can you post your office hours on the door or the bulletin board? They're receiving the agendas after I guess the agendas are kind of coming out on Wednesdays, but your office hours maybe are Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday. So if that's not possible, they would like to be able to see them posted on the door or on the bulletin board. The third one is if you can make public the actual scheduled, scheduled events, meetings, gatherings, whatever it may be, of this room. Again, this is from somebody else. They've tried to gain access, have not been able to, but would like to know if we know that the commissioners have it booked on Fridays, but who else has the room booked and when is that? So that they can work around that and then ask for access to this room. So if that can be posted someplace. This is just a statement from a couple of folks that I talked to in the last few days, and they feel strongly that there are behaviors that are unbecoming of a public official. So they wanted that to be somewhere on the record, if only the minutes of today's meeting. And then they did take a look, and I have too, of the drafts that you presented last week. They are concerned that the behavior expectations are from the public and not from the commissioners. And will the commissioners also indicate what the public can expect from their behavior? And along with that, I have a written note. Some of our community members do not speak or read English, but they do vote. But they cannot read any of that. So they do want access to things that are translated into Spanish. If that's possible, I have been doing it for them, but it takes me a few hours. So if that's possible and you can make that available, I would appreciate that even more than them. And then just really quickly, some concerns about being ADA compliant when only one door is open.
I'm sorry, Anna Marie, I do have to stop you.
Okay, and I'm just gonna super quickly add mics at the tables. This helps us, but they cannot hear what's being said over the videos. I do have a couple more, but I can save those for next week. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, it's 10:35 and we're gonna move right on into the next agenda item. And this one is exciting for us because after a lot of research, you'll see in this draft copy of a revised resolution, one of the things we researched and I think we've come to terms with is allowing that public comment to take place on non-ministerial items. So we're very excited for that. The issue has been, how do we build that into the agenda? Because I won't know beforehand, if everyone gets 3 minutes, today maybe there's only 2 of you here, but maybe some item there'll be 30 people here. So it's been a struggle to figure out how to do that. We have some ideas, and so after we take your comments, I'd like to throw those ideas out to you and get some feedback on that. Did anyone, we haven't received, Anna Marie, I have your written comment, yep. And I think we had another written comment. Oh, that's right, and I did print that. So, I know, there were 2 of the same comments and they were so valid. Somehow we had inadvertently struck out, it was C, I think 1 and 2, maybe, okay. But please note that that has been put back in and that was not intentional. So we're looking for other written comments. And we have time right now, 3 minutes per person, 1 time at the podium to discuss the revisions you'd like to see.
Again, I'm Ken Rule. This, rules for addressing the board in the public.
That one's later. That's the 11:30.
Oh, so we're just talking about
I'm
that.
sorry, yeah.
Okay, I'll just leave my comment that I think it should, that was written by Lewis and Clark County by a competent county attorney.
Which one are we talking about? The resolution?
The resolution.
Okay.
The Lewis and Clark County, the one that you copied.
Yes.
And to me, I would just change the name to Mineral County and leave it as is, change the presiding officer to chair and leave it alone. It obviously was written with a lot of thought, and I think it's applicable to Mineral County, and I think it serves a lot of purpose for all of us.
Thank you. I think that's something you need to take a look at. I have my original copy right here. We will take a look at that. Hello, Juliet.
Hi, Juliet Miller. I would like to ask for the research because the research came from Wally. I've been asking for it for 2 months to see what he's teaching you, and I've asked for the research. So can you please provide the public with the citations and the research besides just your marked out copy we got last week of where you got this and where you're going with this in your words, not somebody else giving you their summaries that Wally was teaching you on January 13th that I've been asking for that relate to this exact issue. I would ask that you provide the public with the same research that you're using to make these decisions so that we can understand your decisions the same. Thanks.
Sure. We checked several, I'll just let you know, we did check many different resources, local county government, we checked statute, we checked with Maple General Counsel.
Please,
We had
provide
Wally's
that.
input. So it's all, it took time to look into all these different resources that were available to us. And I feel like the result is what the public was asking for, which was public comment on any non-ministerial actions taken. So I'm not sure if you have other specific issues that.
No, I want to know where you got the information that brought you to this decision. That's all. I'd like to see the case summaries that Wally's been providing you. That's all.
Again, so I am happy to go back and cite for you the resources that I used. I'm not getting into what Wally did or Wally said. I used many different resources, and I'm happy to provide those. I'm
To the
happy that
public.
we came out with a solution that I thought the public was asking for.
Anna Marie White. So actually, this is one of the things that I didn't get to a few minutes ago. I would like to request that any draft that is available or pending or being looked at, considered, anything that is going to come before you for a vote, a motion, that it be made to the general public. So I handed out dozens of copies of what I got last Friday, because there are some folks, what's that?
Well, I'm just confused because isn't everything out on the table?
So I'm speaking in regards to the folks that cannot be here and
Yes,
present.
yeah, and there weren't enough copies on the table, so you made
No,
some?
as a matter of fact, you'll remember I asked for copies of the agenda, and Andy Short ran and grabbed them, made some copies, but there were not enough for me
No,
to
not
take.
enough agendas.
Yep.
Okay.
So that would be great, but, so the folks that cannot be here in person, would like to be able to see this, and they're not unless they're here. And I know lots of things prevent people from being here. I mean, I know I had to do all sorts of things to make it here today. So I can see this, I can forward it, I can share it, I can do all sorts of things. But how about where can the general public go so that they can see it before it's considered for a vote or before an official motion is made? Is it posted anywhere? I mean, is it up on the board? And if it's not, what mechanism could you put in place so that all those members of the community can see it? And then if they have a concern that needs to be voiced, then they will need to be present, correct? Or they can write a letter.
A written submission is
Yep.
really nice, because then we
Yep.
can have a hard
Yep.
copy.
Mhm.
So Anne Marie, I think that's a really good point, and one that we talked about. I talked with the commissioner's assistant. You know, I'm thinking that these things might serve well being posted on the website.
Okay,
And that would be our only avenue of posting, would be there.
okay.
And if people, you know, I don't know what to say other than, like yourself, okay, we have 20 copies of everything out. Go ahead and take some of those to the people that you're talking about. I can talk to the commissioner's assistant about posting these drafts elsewhere. It like everything else that we're doing, it's a work in progress. And, you know, we're very happy to try to get to the whole county. And
So I would, I'm so glad to hear that, but I would say that, while it's wonderful to get everything out there, online, not everybody, my neighborhood, not everybody has any way to get online, so I don't do it on my phone or an iPad. So is there a place in the paper that it could be included? I'm just asking for different
Sure.
avenues. And then again, if it can be translated into
okay,
Spanish.
thank you, thank you.
William Woodford. And the first question I have is, are we dealing with the document Revised Resolution Mineral County Rules of Procedure? Is that the document is that what we're working on right now?
It is, and I think that, as I'm looking at it, Mineral County Rules of Procedure, it's actually going to be our resolution. So I don't know if that's going to read resolution and then the date it's adopted, and if that includes Mineral County Rules of Procedure. You know, let me check my original right here. But yes, that is, it is, the resolution is called Rules of Procedure.
Okay, thank you. I am kind of pinch hitting for someone that could not be here today, and so I'll apologize in advance if I do injustice or inservice to her. But my first comment is, when I came and saw the draft that you have, that's typed up that says draft document, that is much clearer and much easier to read than the document that was placed out last week with Commissioner Terrell, Commissioner Simon, Commissioner Zalawe, which is the Lewis and Clark County Rules of Procedure marked up.
Right, that is correct.
I find this very confusing, and I think, as making a comment as a citizen, it's very confusing, and probably as an educator would not have accepted work from a student had it done something like this. And I don't think anybody would have. I think it's very sloppy, and I think it lends itself to generating a lot of concerns, because we don't know what's in, we don't know what's out. And there's a lot of angst within the community, because as they read through there, they're like, why is this being totally marked out in as a complete a paragraph or a complete section? I am pinch hitting today for Jane Eby that could not be here, and I do have written remarks.
We have, and we do also have those. You're welcome to read them if that's in your time frame, but we have printed her remarks also.
Okay, I will just leave them behind, because I want to make sure that you get them, and that I do my due diligence.
Thank you.
And I don't know which document you have, but this is the
Came in
document
an email, so.
that she sent. I'm not
Yes,
gonna,
we have those.
I'm not gonna go down through and waste everybody's time in reading this to you. I assume that you are capable of reading them. My comment again is, I think you would have been much further along and had much less angst in the community had you put together a document like this initially and submitted it to the public.
Thank you. I'm hoping we're on the right track with it now. I do have, I see an issue on page 2 of 8, C number 2, agenda. I'm not sure that I understand this. All reports, communications, resolutions, contract documents, or other matters to be submitted to the commission shall be submitted to the commission office by 9 a.m. on the Wednesday preceding the Friday public meeting. I don't know if we're talking agenda items there, because 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning is too late. So I'm not really sure. I guess I didn't see that exactly before this morning. But just letting you all know, there could be a change coming on that.
Clayton Ward again. I look at this and I look at item on page 7 of 8, under, it's actually probably D4, under decorum. And reading that, it looks to me like it leaves it wide open, because if somebody says something you don't like, you could turn around and ban them from further meetings indefinitely, which I don't believe you should be putting in documents that you're gonna ban somebody, because if, say, somebody records something and you don't like it, oh, you're banned. You know, it's just my opinion, and I think a lot of the people in this public feel the same way, that, you know, you shouldn't be able to arbitrarily have written, let me see, while speaking, any person making personal impairment and standards, sonorous marks, and who shall boisterous while addressing the commission shall be forthwith barred from further audience with the commission by the presiding chair. I think that's a little, people get a little heated in these meetings, as you know. I mean, I've been to a lot of them. And I just think that sometimes when you get hot, I try to keep my cool, and sometimes things get said by either the commission or somebody else points something out, and I get a little hot under the collar. But does that mean I should be barred from further meetings? That's all I have.
The comment I would make is, I think there's a difference between a heated argument, because we do take heated arguments, and slander. Because I think that here is the intent, is if there is slanderous things said, that's when a participant could be barred. So heat is, we get heat.
Or who shall become boisterous will addressing the commission. Like I said, people got caught.
Yep, so we can take a look at that.
Then Clayton, if I may, Madam Chair.
Please do.
The finish of that sentence is unless permission to continue is granted by a majority vote of the commission. We may not agree that you get gavelled down. We may not. There are
Okay.
things we don't agree on,
But
believe it or not.
okay.
Okay.
Page 7, what number? It's on page 7.
7 of 8,
It's on page 7.
of 8 on your resolution track.
Right, okay, it's on page 7, I just didn't know.
Decorum.
It's under core, okay, thank you. Got it. Bingo, number 4, thank you.
Yep, I have this part too, all the comments that are coming in.
D4, traffic, okay, thank you. I just didn't know what else on the page, thank you.
If we had microphones, you could hear better. Just saying.
It is one time at the podium, and I just really want to get us in the habit of following what we want to implement. Thank you, Anna Marie. Thank you. Anna Marie, do you think you could, would it be beneficial to post some of these things on your bulletin board at the library in Alberton?
Sure, I can.
I just wonder if that isn't the easiest ways for the residents who can't come in or who don't access the web or, and again, that was just discussion that I was having with the commissioner assistant. A perfect place is at the library. That was actually Commissioner Simon's suggestion.
Okay, yeah, and then if we can make them publicly aware of that, in the newspaper, on the website, otherwise they won't know that it's there. So I think that that's the big issue, is that nobody knows where to go for the information they're looking for. But certainly I can post it there, and I'm usually there at least once a week, so.
Find something.
It's not on top of the
I know. Better use it. Oh,
Hey, I'm Mark Testis. I got a
hello,
question
Mark
about,
Testa. We have a comment. If we could take a minute, please. We have a comment.
I got a thing on page 3 of 8 concerning majority of commissions shall not conduct synchronized email discussions.
Okay.
Is that only concerning email discussions? What about text messaging, phone calls, majority, any of that?
I think you're right.
It only says for emails.
I know, and I'm not sure why. I will write that down and find out.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Text and what else did he say? No, he's asking with
Oh, I
that.
don't know. I know that's what it was.
He said text. Yeah. Yeah. Mark, could you tell me again, I'm sorry, you said, what? Well, I wrote down text, but didn't you say something else besides the text
Well,
messaging?
concerning any type of meeting or anything like that, because as far as like concerning like if you're in like a vehicle and like forum sort of things. So if it is a like text message or if it is Zoom call or anything like that, it's just like I put in there state some way where you're like, well, you will not conduct business unless you are in this type of
Yeah.
sort of environment.
Okay,
Rather than, it only specifies an email discussion.
Right.
It's like where today's sort of, there's more than one way to conduct a discussion.
yes, I appreciate that. I want to make sure that I had my notes written right so that when we go back and review, that I had captured what you said. Thank you. Jeff less than a minute. It is 11:05 and Commissioner Simons just went out to find the speaker for the next issue coming up. He was in here, but maybe he got called out, so hopefully within the next 10 seconds, he'll be here. Results of the air quality testing.
There be a handout for the public on that?
I believe Norm has taken care of that.
There's at the desk again. Not yet.
It's like you're through
Did you try calling?
Same too.
Okay, I'll call.
Yes, I'm going in circles.
Hey, are you ready to come and present? Okay. Okay, thank you. We're a little behind schedule, but Norm, come on up and present your report.
All right. Hello, I'm Norm. I got the mills report on the second one. We did the first one. The levels are really low. I mean, anyone that drove here is in substantially more danger than anything that's in this right now. We did get one spore of what they call the stachy, the one that associates with the black mold. But at that level, it's kind of a statistical outlier. It's so low, it's not a danger to anyone. But we are going to assume that, for abundance of caution, that we caught it early, and we're just going to do the abatement anyway. So that's pretty much it. And then for that one, and then on the 7th, we had to test the rest of the offices, and it's basically a background mold for what you'd have in your kitchen on your break. That's pretty much it that's going on in there. Called the South Pacific Environmental, setting up over in the old school, I believe.
Yeah.
And she's going to give us a quote on what it's going to take to do the negative air, the drying out, everything, and all that. And she'll get back with us as soon as we can. Had her come out and look yesterday.
Oh, okay. Did she have an idea of when they could get started?
Shortly. No, she just wanted to give us a quote first before anything. That way, if we ran for the hills screaming on price, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. So, and then she's got all the dryers, dehumidifiers, and negative air, and all the proper equipment that if we bought, it would cost us a lot of money to sit in the garage for 20 years until the one time we need it. So, ultimately, best to have somebody that knows what they're doing do it. So.
We did have a request for some copies, so.
Yep, I've got a copy of each one. I can show whoever wants, I can read through it and show you how it's basically what you're looking for to understand it. And yeah, if anyone wants to make some copies of these and hand them around, go right ahead.
Yes, please.
All right.
For the public.
Yep. Whoever wants to do it. Because I think we have to charge after a certain amount of copies, don't we? I'm not real sure. I'm not real sure.
No,
on
no,
that one.
that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Would you be able to go have Darren make some copies of both of those?
Sure.
Come in. Here. Yeah, and then we'll just put them out on the table.
Sure.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
All right. If anyone wants to go through this with me, I can show you what we're looking at. And we'll have to do it out there though, obviously. So any takers, I'll be out there.
Thank you.
All right. So everything's progressing just fine and nobody's in any health risk.
Okay.
Okay? So, all right. Anybody else? Anything else? All right.
But
I gotta go.
if you'll have Darren make some copies.
All right.
Yep.
I'll do that and keep battling the snow.
How many? 20 copies? Yep.
20.
Of each. Are those two different reports?
Yep.
then?
One was on the 2nd and one was on the 7th.
Okay, so we'll take 20, and 20 of each, if you don't mind telling him on your way out?
Sure.
That'd be perfect. Then I would encourage anybody to meet with Norm to go over those reports if you have any questions.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
If anyone wants to talk to me out here, you go right ahead. I'll be out here.
You made it. Got just a couple of minutes before you're up.
That's fine. I heard. So.
I'm sorry you hurried. The
No,
roads are dangerous out there
The people
today.
home crashed on their way here, so it's been things.
Oh, gosh. I don't know, you said some people crashed?
The mortuary that was coming up.
Oh. You know, just for your benefit, don't ever, it's okay if you couldn't make it in.
Yeah,
Because
I know, that's why.
I know, I just want you to be, comfortable knowing, oh no, that's all right, we understand.
Yes.
Oh. Are we supposed to let her go? We just sent one. No. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember we went through it and said, oh, there's no. Yeah, Well, I think that was a confusion last week. I like to attach the emails telling us what they want. Is that what this is, or? Okay, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. Must have been a It's 11:15 and Sheriff Funk.
Hello, and thank you. So I guess this is gonna be pretty short and quick and to the point. I'm just here requesting to hire a dispatcher for a recent opening that's come up.
Would you like to make a motion?
I would make a motion that we allow Sheriff Hunt hire a dispatcher.
Yeah, and I'll, yeah, that's pretty darn good. I'll second that motion that we allow Sheriff Funk to advertise and fill a dispatch position for his office.
Okay, and I'll get with Darren and then we'll post on Facebook and then as soon as we get apps, we'll get those going too.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you. Motion
you.
carried. Motion carried.
All right, thank you. I gotta run.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it.
Safe travels out there.
I'm quick.
So then we have a couple minutes. You're gonna run out for just a minute and I will be back for the 11:20. Oh, the signing of the shareholder to see if we have any, that's in Darren's office. Yep, okay. And then we'll talk about the update in public discussions. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right.
It's all the snow.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question about this?
Sure.
Or is that towards the end of the year? And when I look back, so it must be still in the year.
Yeah. I would guess, yes. I can find out.
Well, I'll fix it. That's
They did.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had that last week and then we were stick it all together and try and answer all those, but some of them, like we're having that quarterly meeting this week, so that kind of answered one of those questions.
Oh, what's it for? On this?
Oh, no.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, right.
I don't. That's with,
With,
seven.
Jason and, Nate and,
Resolution on business.
well, I know, but he asked, well, I think
You're doing them all at the same time.
yeah, you make that the quarterly meeting for this year.
I see.
Yeah. So you're more than welcome.
I think it's a little. I'm not mine. I think everybody knows the change now.
Yeah. Yeah.
This sort of thing.
Yeah. All right.
And then he says, well, all creeks start small and shit big. Dirty creek starts big.
Well, so, but it's on our agenda, but if you read on the minutes, the health board meeting.
If you are.
Take her separately.
You can shut it off. It's a great
The suggestion.
Because this part irritates
That's a different way. Then you have
But for him to continue to see, he has to stop here too. The other part is it cuts the vote. You can't diverge unless you have a reason. At the same time, if we get a water commissioner about to say you shut off, that's fine. It's okay to do more
That's my opinion.
The truth is, everybody just continues so far, and the other solution.
Tell me if he's so strict.
In my opinion, is the gallery.
I don't think so. I get to
So then I said,
so I hated it. He had to get it here. For some reason, the freezers.
some mining situation, and then the search waters.
It's all I
I've seen several farmers who get
That's where, double staff.
right down the hill, all of a sudden, there it goes. It was here 2 weeks ago.
serious. But get worse.
You find this crap. But then you get nothing else, everything comes down.
So then they say, well, you're never gonna get water, so give it to them.
That's what happens. If he has to prove that's the case, you don't get it. The guy who's got the claim of vote has to say, you can't create it.
And then there's the next picture. Next picture has nothing. That was the second page. And that was the first page. Can you see the picture?
That he cannot do, he's gotta get rid of it. And he can't do it. But he's also raising.
They said, well,
Aaron wasn't in there, so should we just go? So I don't have a copy of that letter,
Copy of all.
of the one that we're going to. That Mark testified. Two.
We don't take the copy.
No, he's in there. Yeah?
They're saying on the agenda.
It is the draft summary report of stakeholders. I'll just ask him. Where is he? We're a little bit behind schedule. For 11:20, we have on the agenda to sign the draft summary report of stakeholders. The letter was distributed last week. I did not receive, well, we did receive one written comment regarding that, and we have attached it to the letter to be sent to I don't have it on here exactly who that goes to, but, so if there were no further comments on the letter that was out here for all of you, it was a draft summary report of stakeholders. And it,
Is there a reason it's not on the table today?
just because I left it out.
Okay,
last
well,
week.
a lot of people that were here last week didn't get it.
Uh-huh. Well, what I can say is, I did try to reach Darren. I could read that letter aloud to you. But our intent was to sign that today. That's why we had it out last week with asking your interest to be written into us. I'll call Darren and I can certainly read that letter aloud. Clayton, I'll bet you got a copy of that, didn't you? It was out.
He has this week's stuff, that's all he has right there.
If I have it, it's.
Okay, that's all right. Just because then we had it out
I'll
and,
get this stuff from
but
last
I'm gonna
week.
get
It
it.
wasn't there. Last week's stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I gave him my last copy this morning.
If you have a clean copy, if you want to use it to make copies.
How about I just read it real quick?
How about if
Because
we
I
get
did have it out there
copies?
for everyone to pick up last week. Let me show you what it looks like. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, here's what it was, Clayton. Pretty sure that,
Okay.
yeah, we had that out there. And I didn't receive any written comments, except one, and I attached it to the letter to be sent to the Center for Natural Resources and Environmental Policy. It says, "Dear Travis, on behalf of the Mineral County Commissioners, we want to thank the planning team for putting together this summary report. Located within Mineral County, management of the Fish Creek Park and wildlife management areas is of special interest to us. While the report does a good job of portraying the interests and input provided by many stakeholders, it also draws our attention to issues we either did not mention in our first set of written comments or that we want to be re-emphasized here to ensure the interests of Mineral County are heard. First, we want to thank the planning team for including our input regarding future law enforcement and emergency service needs that will certainly increase as recreational use increases. Additionally, we want to thank them for drawing attention to the need for cross-boundary coordination between FWP, DNRC, and USFS for managing the diverse resources across agency boundaries in the Fish Creek drainage. What we have heard during public comment up to this point, and what we believe are the two strongest points illustrated in the summary report, is the need to develop and provide opportunities for diverse recreation and the need to balance this with wildlife and fisheries health. We believe these common goals can only be achieved by continuing the coordination efforts of the three land management agencies in the drainage. The 43,000-acre Fish Creek Park and WMA has hundreds of miles of a mostly intact road system that lends itself to further development for motorized recreation and provides the primary access to three inventoried roadless areas that are adjacent to or in very close proximity to the park and WMA boundaries. The 15,999 acre Burdette Creek IRA borders the WMA at the northwest corner of the property. The 129 acre Hoodoo IRA borders and is accessed through the park and WMA along the entire west and south sides of the property boundary. And the 12,585 acre Stark Mountain IRA can be accessed via the WMA in the Nemoti and Sheridan Creek drainages. At 223,713 acres, these three IRAs are currently set aside almost exclusively for non-motorized use. These combined with other IRAs on the remainder of the Lolo and Wilderness in western Montana have set aside over 6.5 million acres exclusively for non-motorized use. Roads and trails open to motorized use are also shared by non-motorized users user groups and provide critical access to remote trailheads and trails. While we improve infrastructure and provide safe access to these 3 IRAs, we also believe the primary focus on the FWP property should be on the development of motorized recreation that is balanced with wildlife and fishery needs. Forest health and vegetarian management. A large portion of the landscape on the 43,000 acres managed by FWP in Fish Creek drainage is or has been forested in the past. The need to manage this vegetation was discussed verbally during public meetings and in written comments, but was not included in the summary report. Commercial and non-commercial treatments should be applied to this landscape to improve forest health, improve wildlife habitat, reduce the risk of catastrophic stand replacing wildfires, make forests more resistant and resilient to the effects of fire, improve firefighter and public safety, improve the effectiveness of first responders, and begin restoring historic forest conditions across the landscape. How FWP manages their forested acres will have an effect on other ownership in and around that landscape. We respectfully request the FWP contact the Montana GNA forestry staff and work together with them to develop a cross-boundary forest health improvement project across all agency boundaries in the Fish Creek drainage. We strongly support the development of the Fish Creek Park as a recreation destination. And then I see, if anybody else would like to see the rest, as a recreation, there are several bullet points, and then there are several bullet points we strongly oppose. And in closing, the Fish Creek drainage has historically contributed substantially to our local economies in Mineral County. We want to emphasize our need to continue to keep our local business and communities in mind as you develop the management strategy for the Fish Creek drainage. Thank you for considering our comments, and we look forward to working with you on this and other projects that affect our rural communities across all of western Montana. And the commissioners would like to sign that and get that sent off today.
Is there a comment on that?
Please.
Again, I can believe, there's been a lot of community involvement in that letter. The collaborative group has worked on that extensively, but the point I'd like to make is you would not have that letter without your alleged resource manager. So keep that in mind. You really need to get that position going and in place and get him on the payroll, and he should be paid for all the time he's already invested.
Thank you. Before we sign this, are there any other comments? I think we're good to go with signing that. I don't think that needs a motion to sign. Okay. With our signatures? Oh, no, because this is Anna Marie's. Darren has our copy. Okay, so thank you for your patience with me reading that. Anna Marie, thank you for your extra copy. Okay, so given that, with no more comments, it is time to visit the update and public discussion rules for addressing the board and public draft. So, we had this out last week. We have one small change, and it is on the table again this week. But please, let's hear your comments, because we all want the same thing. A well-run, smooth, respectable public meeting. So let's hear what you have to say. We would like to adopt this next Friday, right? Yes. Yep. So.
Adopt this as what?
Rules for addressing the board and
Is that another resolution, or does it amend a current resolution?
No, yeah, it's simply rules for addressing the board.
Just said they want to do that next week.
Will it be filed with the clerk and recorder?
I don't know that we're making this a resolution and that it would need to be filed. You will find it in the commissioners. I don't know, do you think that this needs to be filed, Dwayne?
Rules.
So there's edicts, there's rules, and there's laws. Which one are we gonna make this one?
This one is titled
If you're
Rules
gonna
for.
address the commission,
Oh, yeah,
I think we have
please.
to come to the microphone here. That's the rule.
Thank you, thank you.
So So I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I thank you.
Juliet Miller, trying to reconcile the rules for addressing the board and the public. Is this a separate set of rules? Will this be filed after you adopt it as a resolution? Or are these the moving target that we've been getting recently? One of the problems I have with this is that the rules are for me, they're for thee. So if you tell me that I can't interrupt you and you tell me that I cannot talk down to you and I cannot shout at you, then please give us the respect of the same. I'm pretty sure that there is a federal constitution and a state constitution. It would be Article 2, Section 7 that states that I have the freedom of speech. So what you think may be disparaging to you, perhaps we need to open the ears and hear your public telling you that your position that you're holding is a problem. Stop. The subjective nature of these rules is very concerning because one bad day and you don't like what somebody says and the next thing you know, there's a big problem with public access to information and the public right to participate. So I caution you very, very much to not put rules out there you're not willing to put onto yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, and I will say, we do intend to adhere to these rules also. I fully recognize that today I did start to respond to you. I am making mistakes and learning my place along the way, but these are for all of us so that we can all work respectfully with each other.
Again, I'm Kimberly. This resolution that we saw here today, it's dated January 6th, is that something new or is that something old?
No, it's new. I don't know why. Which piece has that?
No, this resolution.
Oh, so this would be an old resolution.
Okay.
Yes, that is
So
old.
that's been in place, so that's been the reg. So we have not followed them, but this has been discovered and now that's going to be the rule and we're gonna follow this resolution.
So the intent, I believe, is to follow that, the new resolution, but after it's adopted.
This?
Yours is the resolution, you're the one that you're holding.
Okay.
And that will be replaced by the Lewis and Clark resolution.
So is this gonna be an addendum?
Okay, so this is really good thought, thank you, give me a minute to walk through this. I believe that this perhaps should be a resolution. I don't know when it's rules, I mean.
A separate resolution to that, or could it just be added to that
It could be added to that, yes,
and have one resolution?
and have one resolution.
That's just a question. That's
No,
not-
I get, and that's what I want, because,
That's what we're here for discussion.
Let's ask our council, who's sitting right there.
The document that you're working on is this document here.
Right.
It's not January 6th document.
no, Ken has a January
There's a copy on
6th.
the table here.
Yes,
And this document, you can do either as a resolution that stands alone for that part of how you address the board. That's fine. What it does, then it replaces the parts of that would conflict or whatever else. This becomes the rules, basically for addressing the board and the public. That's all this does. The Lewis and Clark draft that's we've redrafted several times now, that replaces the vast majority of that document, or all of it. And that's done, but we're not done with that yet. But this is just part of the component puzzle, and this is on the table back here too, so people.
Yes, it is. Okay, but I'm still.
I would do it as a resolution, so that it's very plain in the record, this is the rules we function by.
Okay.
It's not an ordinance, it's just.
No.
Got it.
Okay, then going back to Ken's question though, so are all of these rules already in the Lewis and Clark resolution?
I don't think they all are.
Okay, so would we add this, or you still think this is a standalone?
I would make them stand alone, Miranda, because then you don't have to change that. The 7-page document should adjust this as time goes on. That's my thought. This is more of how do you be respectful, do day-to-day business talking versus the broader picture things. This is a more specific, smaller item, but it's bigger in terms of day-to-day function.
So Ken, would you care to comment on that?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know why you'd want another resolution. I think some people brought forward earlier, you know, there's people out there in the community that aren't getting these resolutions now. So you got a handful of people here that are listening and seeing this, but the general public is not involved in these resolutions. So if you're gonna pass a resolution, I don't understand, it's a simple one-page document. Why you wouldn't just clip it to that and make one resolution and make it all inclusive, rather than make it more cumbersome, more resolutions, more things to follow through with. But anyway, so that's the question. So before we can actually comment, we need to know what you guys are gonna do. So, you may wanna consider tabling this until you get that decision done, because if you're gonna make your vote next week, people are not gonna know the answer to that question unless you're gonna publicly put it out there between now and then. So
Okay.
it's something you might think about how you're gonna do that.
Yes, thank you. And then I would still ask you, Ken, and everyone else, either way, whether it was a standalone resolution or added to this, do you see any changes either way that you would see
Well,
beneficial?
now that I understand that it's also part of that and we're doing away with this,
Uh-huh.
because we've not been clear on that, I would like to go back and review it again before I
Okay.
made my decision.
Okay.
So, you know, that would be my question. I understand the intent and I like it. I actually thought Lewis and Clark standalone was a good document. This, and that, you know,
Yep.
you have to do away with this resolution? Is that how it works?
Well, I think that Lewis and Clark is going to take over that particular resolution. Correct, Wally? That was my intent, that this is a new and more clear resolution.
So what happens to this resolution?
It's repealed.
The right to public participation?
You know, that one that Ken has in his left hand, it and about 4 times more in the Lewis and Clark draft. So this ordinance, that resolution ends up repealed and it becomes the larger document. It's got more in it. So that's what happened.
So what is the repeal process, Paul?
It's a vote of the commission. Just say if you adopted Lewis and Clark, it does this in order, that's repealed. That's all it is.
Okay, so that involves more public comment than on the repeal versus, or is
You can
that?
do it that way, you know, or one can repeal the other. We're not doing anything with the other one until next week, because people have time to make comments, suggestions, issues, so there it sits.
Oh, I'm not so sure next week is the time, because now we've changed the rules of the game. We've got more information here than we thought we had when we came in here. I mean, like somebody presented last week, we had a scratched out version that was very difficult to read and understand. Now we have a better draft. Now we have this included, plus we understand that this may be part of that. So there's a lot of thought process that needs to be done, for me anyway, before I think the commission should vote. So anyway, that's my comment.
Well, I would like to say that's the value in doing this, because
Absolutely.
we maybe haven't thought everything through where we thought we did. So
I think I'm just saying, don't rush it.
Nope, I'm with you. So I would say we should table this, have a work session, and have more precise information and put it on the agenda for further consideration and adopt nothing yet. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I would say is, you know, if we could still, even though this is not adopted, we don't know if it's a resolution, but I would like us still to practice these rules of respect to each other and timed sessions at the podium and that stuff. But we will have a work session and consider everything that you brought forward. And again, that's the value of this. So I personally appreciate it.
No, that's good.
Okay,
We still in discussion?
we are.
Okay. Anna Marie White. So I completely agree with Ken. I had thought the same thing. So we've got 3 separate documents. Currently, only one governs us, correct, Wally?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my thought was, what if we take these 3 documents and make them one resolution? So that it's all inclusive, and then we're not looking to see, you know, am I following what is dictated or am I not? So I would like to see that, and once that's drafted, then that be put out to the public, and then a given amount of time for responses, written or otherwise. So I'm happy to hear that it will be tabled, but that's my suggestion with these 3 documents. In regards to specifically the rules, there's a couple of things that I am in disagreement in the wording, and that is where it says cell phones should be turned off. I think turned off is not necessary. I can't remember the last time I turned my cell phone off.
You should do it the update.
I hear. It's probably a good idea. But I don't think that that's necessary to tell the public or the attendees. So I would like to see turned off removed, just my opinion. And then at the bottom where it says, should not repeat a comment already given, the may state agreement with the previous comment. Again, I don't think that that's necessary. We need to be careful dictating what folks say at the podium. And if I want to regurgitate something I heard during public comment at the beginning, it should be my prerogative to do so without being asked not to. And sometimes, and this is for me, I need to hear things more than once before they make sense to me. So I would like to see that removed. And again, with the state agreement with the previous comment, you know, we can do that or not, but I don't think telling the public or the attendees is necessary, so I would like to see that removed. And then the one last thing is that I would like somewhere for it to be included, in order to meet ADA access and accommodation, that the commissioners table be mic'd up for the audience, and for the recording, audio and video. So if we could take a look at that, I think that would be beneficial to the public as a whole. And if you do a work session, who would be invited to that? When would that happen? I'd be really interested in being able to get that information out to everybody that I'm talking to outside of the meetings. Thank you.
If I could just on the work session, we don't have anything planned for a work session, but there are times when we can legally come in and have a work session, and it seems to me this is an issue that should be between, you know, I don't want to just sit down and do it. This is a work session. It is a work in progress. And when it comes out in draft and is presented to you, I think is your opportunity to be involved.
Thank you.
I just don't want to nail anything down.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
My name's Glenn Ward again. Still. Couple things. Number one, this isn't Lewis and Clark County. We have many other issues that are different from what they were going through with property and everything else. I do not believe for a minute that we need to sit there and follow their guidelines. For years, we followed that same document that Ken just showed us. Maybe it needs to be amended with the little things that are on that second sheet, instead of a book where things are gonna get lost in translation and people are gonna interpret it the way they want to. That's all I have to say. I just think too much, people get lost. And we are not Lewis and Clark County, we are Mineral County. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, William Woodford. I have a suggestion as you move forward with developing your procedures and rules for addressing the commission in public. One thing I would like to say that was fairly successful at the school district level is summarizing and putting the rules for speaking at the bottom of your agenda, because a lot of people, a lot of community members aren't here right now. They may not be aware of any changes, and it will make your meetings flow a lot more smoothly if they can come, pick up a copy of the agenda, And at the bottom of the agenda or on the back of the agenda, referenced on the front, says the rules of engagement are posted on the back. Everybody's on the same page, and it informs the public in an ongoing way. The other cautionary note, again, if I apologize in advance if I reference education, that's where I lived prior to my previous life, and that was you have difficulty building on what Anna Marie said about trying to define everything. No gum chewing on the playground, no gum chewing in the hallway, no wearing a hat on the playground, no wearing a hat in the classroom. If you try to define everything, you're going to set yourself up for, but you didn't say that. So be concise. The KISS principle is probably very valid in this arena. Keep it simple and short, and don't assume that everybody's going to understand automatically or be able to just say, oh, well, we changed the rules or whatever. Continual reminder is very beneficial and helpful to those that may not be in attendance or be aware of these documents. Thank you.
Thank you. Is this that block management? Yeah. Do you think it is?
Yeah. So, here.
Okay, all right, okay.
I'll take my phone.
Yeah.
Well, I think yeah. I think we already did this, so I think that would be the end of it.
Oh,
I don't know.
Where's the last meeting? It's for the 24th, not the 3rd. I know what the 3rd is. And did we get a copy of that? Because they want to, what kind of copies?
I know, I mean, we said that, yeah.
I know that you would. I said it one time. I totally agree. Thank you.
That was a good question. I think,
Yeah.
you know, at least our council, I think it was going to be
Well,
I just wanted to have the credit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
will these be made available?
That's what.
Yes. Shady Sheila. Yeah, we're not done.
Because it's, yeah, because it's not here, it's at one of the homes. Those are, yeah.
same message, that's what you do. Or you can't do that. That's supposed to be.
Yeah, that we recessed, because I had other people say that too. I said, no, we recessed and handed it over, and they said, no, yeah, we did. I understand.
All you guys do is.
Oh. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you bet, absolutely. Yeah.
Because otherwise, people don't want to break the rules unless it's a minute. Then I can make the rules. So that's why I'm here to stay on the whole word was I had to get about you can't do something like you either. And guess who was guilty of that or something?
Yes, and then we got in trouble for that.
We're gonna take you to lunch
No,
today.
if you, no, still don't, I say see Emily.
We're gonna take you to lunch tomorrow, because we let it go, but if you, it's like, we're gonna take Dwayne to lunch on Friday next week. But it's like, no, you cannot do that. That's breaching the rules, guys.
And they never have been. I know, they never have been. Yeah, but okay, I see what you're saying, but when you're still. It's just as good. Yeah, no, well, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe make,
That's illegal stuff. You cannot do that.
Yeah, we can talk about that in our work session. This meeting is adjourned. Everyone,
Norm brought the copies.
okay, good, good. Have a great weekend. There was something I was gonna tell Anna to read. Oh,
are you skiing again? Are you?
Still.
Yeah, never quit.
Super G, and Super G's is crazy up at Mission Ridge, and she just flew, I mean, just on fire. Her third run, she lost a ski, and let me tell